Hi boys and girls, it's been quite a long time since I've made a hair vid, so I thought I'd give you a little update. Main reason I'm doing it now is because it's been exactly a year since my second hair transplant, which was for my crown area. So I've had, the first one was December 2018, where they concentrated on the hairline, the front, and a little bit on top. They put around about 500 grafts in the back as well, in the crown area. So that op I had 3,300 grafts. The second op, which I had a year ago now, sort of Easter 2022, they put 3,400 grafts, mostly in the crown area, and also around about 500 just behind the hairline to top it up, because I didn't want the hairline sort of any further forward, because I'm not that young anymore. I'm 48 now, just gone 48. So we basically were going for the crown last year when I had the second op. The first op went really well. That was at Dr Cinik's in Istanbul, so I went back to the same place and really happy with the result again. The new clinic is amazing. It's bigger than the other one. It's got a lot more modern equipment. It's really good. It's got like laser there now, and they've also started doing dental work there if you want any dental work doing. So I get asked a lot of questions as always. Am I pleased with my result? Yes, completely pleased. As always, I'll go over the top of my hair with the camera, try and get it filmed for you. It's always hard to tell whether it's in focus or not, so I'll try sort of turning like this so you can see. Ignore my hair the way it's cut at the moment, because I'm sort of growing it a little bit at the back to sort of have a little bit of a mohawk thing. I like to change my hair quite a lot, these styles, just try different things. Some of you know that I've had it really long before. It's cut probably about a week ago. I did the sides sort of around there. So I think it was grade 1 I do on the sides. Some people say, do you let the sides and back grow over the sort of donor area? I don't, because my hair's quite wavy and fuzzy. If mine grows, it just grows outwards like that, and it kind of doesn't look right. So I like to keep it quite short on the sides and back. One concern I had was with the second op, I was thinking, are they going to over harvest? But no, they haven't. I'm really pleased. You can't really tell that I've had a hair transplant. A lot of people that have never met me just don't have a clue that I've had 2 hair transplants. Really happy that I got them done. My biggest regret was I didn't do it sooner. I had my first one, like I say, like 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. I was going to wait till I was 50 to get my first one done. Just pleased that I didn't wait that long, because I'm benefiting from the results now rather than sort of like waiting. So altogether, it's something that I'm so pleased I did, and I'm very pleased with the results. If you look closely, you can sort of see the hairline. I'm pleased with that. Some people are obsessed with getting a really low hairline. For someone my age, that would look weird. The other thing is to reduce your hairline down, even sort of 1 centimetre down. It uses a lot of grafts, so you haven't got infinite grafts, so you know you have to be careful. If you're sort of quite bald on top, then you know, just go for a nice reasonable hairline and try and get the top filled and the crown eventually. A lot of people say, why didn't I get it done in 1 op? They did as much as they could with the first op. They always kind of start at the front to get the hairlines. The first op they did bring the hairline down a bit, and especially on the sort of sides, because they were really receding back. So they got that done on the first one, and around about 500 grafts in the back, in the crown area. That I could have got by with, but there's like a little nagging in your head sort of saying, you know, you've still got grafts available in the donor areas on the sides and back. So I decided to go back for a second op to concentrate on the crown, to thicken it up and make it a lot denser, which I'm really, really pleased with. It's just, yeah, brilliant. Now it's, your crown gets like a natural whirl or wall, however you pronounce it. It basically, so it goes round, so you get a point in the back and it sort of spins. So it's very important you get someone who knows what they're doing. They put them in at the right angles, the grafts, and that sort of thing. The other reason I didn't get it done in one op was because even though I've got enough grafts, you can't sort of take them out for too long because they won't survive. So if I wouldn't be able to basically go and have like 6,000 or so grafts in one op because they wouldn't survive that long. So it's another reason why have one op, then you kind of wait a year before the second. Some places do mega ops where they do like loads one day and then loads the next day. It's up to you. I waited a year, but then it was like COVID and things were cancelled, so it ended up being about three years since my first one. And I'm pleased I did, because I got to see the results, see how my scalp reacted to the hair grafts, see how it looked basically, and then when I was very happy with the first one, I decided to go for the second one. So there's no rush. I know some people just want everything done straight away, but with hair transplantation it's a long process. You have to, it's not going to grow straight away. You have to be prepared for that, like shock loss and things like that. Your hair, when they transplant it, they put it in, and it sometimes, or quite a lot of the time, will fall out before regrowing. So it's called shedding, and you just have to be prepared for that. So, and a lot of people are frightened about what people think or the way they look or coming back through the airport. Just don't worry about any of that. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it to make yourself feel better about yourself. So, just relax. Most people, if anyone takes the mick, it's usually because they're jealous. There's a lot of jealous people out there. There'll be people who critique your hair and say, oh, you could have had one graft there, one. It's just a lot of jealousy, a lot of, people just, if you're happy with it, then that's all you need to worry about, and I'm really happy with mine. There's always going to be people that are critiquing your hair and saying, oh, this doesn't look right or that. Who cares? A lot of them are insecure about their own hair. That's why they actually do it. Or they won't even go for an op because they're too worried about needle pain or that sort of thing. That's another thing. A lot of people say about the needles, it puts them off. I'm not here to persuade you to get a hair transplant, but in my view, don't let any, like the anaesthetic, the needles put you off. You can have the painless thing. It's not completely painless, but it's nowhere near as bad as many people think. A lot of people say to me, I speak to them before their ops, then I speak to them after, and they're like, you were right, it was nowhere near as painful as I thought it was going to be. But people perceive pain in different ways, so what one person doesn't find painful, another person might. So there's no real way. People say on a scale of 1 to 10, how painful is it? For me, it was like maybe 2 or 3. It's the first needle is more of a shock because you don't know what to expect. Then after that, the area gets numbed, so they put the next one in, and then it's already numbed a little bit, so it gets easier and easier. The other thing is the second op was a lot less sort of worrying or less stressful because I knew what to expect because I'd had the first op. So the second op went really smoothly. Everything was great. I get people who say that they've never flown before. It's not a problem. The hair transplant company, in my case Dr Cinik and the Cinik Clinic, they pick you up from the airport, they take you to your hotel, which is also included in the package. So you just check into the hotel, the driver helps you check into the hotel, go to your room, get a WhatsApp, telling you what time they're going to pick you up, make sure you have a breakfast, have the op done, and again they pick you up from the hotel. They've got their own fleet of cars. Then they pick you up after the op, take you back to the hotel, you have your breakfast, you have your aftercare appointment the next day so they can check your hair. When it's time to go home, they give you the time they're going to pick you up from the hotel, and again you get a minivan take you back to the airport. So it's all done for you. You don't have to worry about, because it's in a different country, you know, everyone speaks English there anyway, so and in the hospital you'll have a translator, so if there's anything you don't understand you can ask the translator to translate. But I mean, all the staff in my op, they spoke pretty good English anyway. And yeah, like the people who do the taxis to take you from the airport to the hotel, they speak English, so there's nothing to worry about at all. It's, like I say, a lot of it's done on WhatsApp, so you can either buy a SIM for your phone before you go, or you can buy one at the airport, or if your mobile company doesn't do roaming and that sort of thing. So mine, you can use an eSIM, so I've got my normal UK SIM and you have what's called an eSIM, so you basically pay for it, you scan a QR code and then that's everything done. Then you don't have to worry at all. You just get there, turn your UK SIM off, turn the eSIM on and you're fine. It's streamlined so well. It's like I say, it's a well-oiled machine. It's like, obviously the hospital are expecting you, so everything's prepared, everything's, you know, they do things in a certain order, and it's all done for you, so you don't have to worry, you just have to make sure you're there really. And yeah, when you meet Dr Cinik, you can tell him what you like, what sort of hairline you want, and that sort of thing. Just be realistic, because if you're completely bald and you haven't got a great donor area, then you know it's going to be a lot harder. They might be able to give you a nice hairline, but they might not be able to get you 100% on top. So just be realistic. That's one thing I would definitely say. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other questions that I get asked a lot. Finasteride I still don't take because I donate blood and they don't allow it here in the UK if you donate blood. I'm lucky because of my age. I think my hair's pretty much stabilised now. I don't seem to be balding or losing hair. So some of that is like great news for me. But I don't want you to be put off of finasteride because I don't take it. You know, if you're younger than me, you might still be balding. You know, even if you're older than me, you still might be balding. But don't be put off by, you know, there are some people say about side effects. It's only a very small proportion that get side effects, and if you have and you've stopped taking it, then fine. You know, it's not my job to tell you to take it or not take it. Basically, I take saw palmetto. I've taken it for years now. Some people say it does absolutely nothing, but for me, I don't know, maybe it's a good luck charm. It still seems to be working. I'm not losing hair. It's pretty cheap, so I just buy it in bulk. But yeah, that's not to say it would replace finasteride. So if you're going to take finasteride, my advice would be start on a small amount, a small dosage, and then just sort of build it up. But I'm no expert on finasteride because I don't take it. I've never taken it. I take my biotin every day. Again, some people say you don't need it, but I just take it. Take my multivitamins because I've always taken them. Shampoo I get asked about all the time. I go for a cheap supermarket shampoo. When you first add the op, they'll give you a shampoo to use. Use that until it's finished. Then you can buy baby shampoo if you want to keep your hair nice and it's soft on the scalp and all that. I personally, after all of that, I've used expensive ones, I've used cheaper ones, and I personally don't notice tons of difference apart from the smell and sort of how much they lather up. Some people like to use them with no chemicals and that sort of thing. That's up to you, that's fine. If you want to do that and or if you want to spend 15 quid on a bottle on certain ones that say they're going to do stuff for your hair, then fine. I personally don't. I spend about 69p on a bottle of shampoo. How often do I shampoo my hair? Probably about 3 times a week. When I first have the transplants, I was doing them every day, as the clinic said, for about a month. Now I do it when I go to the gym, so maybe 3 times a week, or if I go jogging as well, maybe 4 times. So I just do it then, so that to get rid of the sweat basically. As I've said loads of times, I've started a group on Facebook about hair and dental. I've had my implant done now and I'm really pleased with that. So it's a group that's about hair transplants. Probably 90% of it is hair transplants that people talk about, or hair in general. We also talk about dental, just have a laugh in general really. It's a good group of people on there, very, very helpful. There's no bitterness, no belittling, no running you down. Don't go to an expensive clinic or anything like that. People are genuinely on there to try and help you, and it does work really well. There's a lot of good people on there who are very, very clued up on hair and dental and everything. So it works really well. So if you want to join it and you haven't joined it, I'll leave a link below. We've got a lot of people join on the recommendation of others, so it's going really well. It's a friendly group, and that's what we like, and that's how we want to keep it. I get asked, would I have another hair transplant? I don't know. At the moment, I don't know if I'd have enough grafts left in the donor areas to actually have another hair transplant, because you don't have an infinite number, and you might start getting like over harvesting and stuff like that. So at the moment I'm happy with the hair the way it is anyway. In the future, when stem cell technology is out and it's come down in price and all that sort of thing, and be careful as well, because some clinics are calling PRP treatment stem cell and all this sort of thing. Just be careful of that. But in the future, when they can grow grafts and things like that, so that you'll have a more infinite supply, then yeah, in years to come maybe I might have another one. But at the moment I'm just really pleased with mine, the way it's gone, the way it is. I'm sat in front of a bright window here as always to try and give you an accurate view of my hair. But yeah, so I'm 48 now and feel really good for it, and the hair has given me more confidence. I would never have made a video like this beforehand. I was always trying to hide my baldness using fibres, and they were good. I'm not going to say they weren't. They literally, for about 10 years I used them and they were great, but I don't use them now. But like I say, I try and get to the gym, try and work out, try and keep my cardio up, so that try not to put on as much weight, even though I seem to go down on weight at the start of the week, and then as you get to the weekend I end up drinking loads of wine and stuff, so putting on weight and sort of naughty food at the weekend. So you go back on a Monday to the gym and you end up putting the weight back on. But no, for someone, I'm 48 and I feel pretty good for it. So work out, do a lot of travelling. Luckily, I'm very lucky to be able to do that. I realise that. Pay for a lot of it myself, and like check out my other vids, because there's a lot of hotel vids. People say, how can you do so much travelling? A lot they don't realise is, if I go somewhere, like I've been to Abu Dhabi quite a lot, I stay in a different hotel every night. I don't stay in the same hotel for a week. So say I go for 8 nights, then I'll do like 8 different hotels, because then I can film 8 hotels, experience 8 hotels. And I know that it wouldn't be for everyone. A lot of people wouldn't like that, but I love staying in different hotels, so I travel a lot. Quite lucky that I've got quite high up in Hilton and things like that, so you get quite a few free upgrades. You get like breakfast and all that sort of thing added. So if you're into travel, check out my travel vids. A lot of people say you must be paid a fortune. I'm not at all. I'm just good at finding deals. I will literally travel anywhere in England for one night just because I've spotted a deal where something's like a quarter of the price it normally is. Maybe I should do a video sometime on travelling and how I spot these deals. But that's it though. It's like my second transplant, year in from my second one. The clinic were asking for photos, which I put on the Facebook group I mentioned earlier. Also sent to the clinic. They're happy with the way it's going. Any questions, leave a comment below. Join the Facebook group that we started. It's really good. It gives you a lot of advice and help. Apart from that, I hope you're all getting great results from your hair. Yeah, if you're in 2 minds as to whether or not to go for it, I'd say go for it, because it's you know, it's changed my life around. It's made things a lot better. Cheers and bye.